As per usual, I'm in quite a rush. You know things aren't going to plan when you have to start your day with a supercharge. So that's what happens when you forget to set the charge level to 90% before you go to sleep. Oh well. Yeah, about 20 minutes, so perfect. I'll just grab a coffee and that will fix that problem for me. Right, so today we've got, Tom and Mark. Tony. Yeah. It began with a T.
I don't think
Yikes. I've literally just met these guys just now, in case you're wondering. They're not long friends or anything. They've Evolve riders, is that right?
Yeah.
And an i3 driver.
No.
You were looking, but you never quite got there.
No. Because it was a BMW.
Right, yes. Well, you're right, that is a problem. So you were asking about the Foamies. I'd be interested to know how they handle the surface around here.
Yeah. Last time I came around here, it was tarmac. And speaking to one of my mates, it's a bit more gravelly now.
Yeah, we'll see how we go with them. Yeah, this is about as rough as you would ever really want to go, I think, with these wheels. But it's doable, it's just not, I wouldn't call it comfortable. Oh, that wasn't such a great move. Clearance over big stones is definitely reduced. You know, I wasn't actually planning on making this a video about Foamies. I was going to talk about the Plaid powertrain. Is that what they call it? Mark, what do they call that new powertrain? How do you pronounce it? Plaid. Yeah, the powertrain that Tesla have got. You know, Plaid, is it?
Oh yeah, Plaid, yeah.
Plaid, yeah. That's what I'm supposed to be talking about today.
Raven.
But yeah, Foamies, they're handling it, but this is definitely not their preferred surface. Mark, would you mind awfully if we did a rolling resistance test?
Yeah.
So we go the same speed, and then we both take our finger off the trigger at the same time.
3, 2, 1, go.
You know, I didn't actually have my finger on the trigger when you said go, it was just rolling anyway. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
And you beat me anyway.
Quite comfortably.
By a lot.
Still going.
Yeah.
Still going.
Wow.
Don't move. Still going. Still going. Still going. Yeah, I think it's fair to say on smooth tarmac the rolling resistance is a bit better.
A lot?
Yep, quite a lot. So this Plaid powertrain, so called from the old Spaceballs movie, I think that's where the reference comes from. It's got 2 motors on the rear axle, which is insane, and it's also got a motor on the front axle, and there was one at the Nürburgring until recently. You know what, I'm looking around here and I'm thinking I should just take shots of this. Look at this stunning place. Wow, that's a hill.
Showing off for the camera.
Actually sounds faster. The questions that you get asked are really...
Mark's trying to sell Teslas. See, when he's with Tesla people, he tries to sell Evolve skateboards, and when he's with Evolve skateboard people, he tries to sell Teslas.
Teslas sell themselves.
With a little help from Mark.
What do you do if it runs out? Yeah. And how far can you go to charge? So how far can you go to charge longer than your bladder can last? Yeah. And in the time it takes you to go to the toilet, stretch your legs, moan about how sore your bum is, have a cup of coffee, your car's ready to go again.
So the seats aren't very good then?
No, the dry on road.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with seats.
They've got heated and ventilated seats. I mean, it takes care of all stuff like that. The other one is what happens if you run out. The car is aware of where the chargers are. The car is aware of everywhere it's ever charged, right? Yeah. The car knows how many miles in its battery.
So it will basically say, I'm getting low, there's a charging
It
station,
will warn
we're
you
going to go
it's-
by
well-
one in 5 minutes. And
It will first of all say, if you're just driving aimlessly, it doesn't know where you're going,
No.
but it knows where the charges are. So if you happen to start approaching the outside of supercharger range, it will warn you and say you're driving outside of known supercharger range. Is that okay? Because it doesn't know where you're going. Yeah, that's fine, you carry on. And then it will say, you're driving outside of all known charges. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine, because I know exactly where I'm going. I'm going to my mate's house, I'm going to plug in. As you start then becoming low on power, it will start reducing the amount of power available to it, and it will warn you.
That goes in eco mode. Like
It goes in just like the boards. It goes into eco mode, just like the boards. So the answer to the question is, what do you do if you run out? Is you already know what you're going to do if you run out, because you can't accidentally run out.
Yeah.
You're deliberately running out, so therefore you must have a contingency plan.
When I drove to northern Italy, I think it was about 880 miles was the furthest I went in one day. We stopped every like 120 to 150 miles. And yeah, I have a 4-year-old at the time, I think he was. So he wanted to, you know, get out and stretch his legs. He didn't want to be stuck in the car all the time anyway. And it worked brilliantly. It was so easy. There was really very little to do. Not really any planning to do, because I just looked at a big map of France and it puts the red dots where all the superchargers are. You just go, I want to drive to that one next. I could have told it to go the whole way and it would have added in the supercharger stops automatically. But I don't like doing that, because I find that what it does is it tends to not put them where I want them to be. You know, they don't necessarily fall at a meal time, you know, or they've maybe run the battery a bit lower than I would want to run it, if you see what I mean.
We went 4,700 miles. We didn't really know where we were going, so we winged pretty much the whole thing. We didn't, don't get me wrong, we didn't just get in the car and go, where should we go? We knew that, right, we're going to Switzerland, but we didn't know how we were going to get to
nice
Switzerland.
roads through Switzerland. isn't
Yeah,
they?
we had two
Fast
sat-navs
roads,
going.
right.
We had the sat-nav in the car going, so from point to point, to make sure that we would never run out.
Yeah.
We also then had a motorcycle app on here, which takes me through scenic routes, curvy routes,
Yeah.
avoid the main roads, avoid
All the
narrow
mountain
roads.
passes
So
and that.
instead of going 42 miles of tunnel through a mountain, we went right over the pass. It was absolutely fantastic. And just like when we were coming down those hills over there,
Yeah.
we were regenning the whole way down the mountain. Every hillside is a petrol station. So we were starting
If you're
at-
going down, if
Yeah,
you're going down,
yeah.
if you're going up, it's not so much.
But we're standing at the top of the hill at like 269 kilometres in the range in the battery, and then finishing at the bottom with 289 kilometres. You just gain 20 kilometres from coming downhill, and it was really good.
Yeah, I didn't get a lot of that from the boards today.
No,
you
yeah.
know, didn't seem like it made that much difference.
I regen 1% at one point, so I was happy with that.
The interesting thing about today, I mean, GTX AT setup, GTX AT setup, GTX with Foamies, GTR Carbon, and the GTR Carbon was just,
Yeah,
the range is definitely better. The
Price is
accuracy,
good, isn't it?
you get what you pay for. It's development, it's the later product.
I think when it comes to range with the Foamies, I think when you're on that rough, you know, the really rough surface, I have a feeling it hurts the range quite badly. I mean, obviously the rough surface will hurt everybody's range, but I think it hurts the range on the Foamies, you know, maybe even a bit more than it does on the all-terrain
Well, yeah,
wheels.
because with the stones and that, they're, for that size wheel, the stone's bigger, really, isn't it? Like, I was just rolling
Yeah.
over it. The stones affect
Well,
that
and
wheel
also
more.
the wheel's quite a bit wider, so it's got more stones to
picking up
pull out of the way. Yeah.
So you did look a lot quicker on that carbon with them strangles on.
Without a doubt, without a
You were
doubt. That's
seriously
what
quick
that's
on it.
meant for.
Yeah.
But even coming down here, I daren't really put anything into it because it'd just slide out. It would just
That's what
absolutely
it's
slide
for. You're supposed to have gloves on and put your hand down.
out. And not me 54.
Well, I don't know. There's some Evolve riders out there that would dispute that. Well, this has been awesome fun, but of course we have not talked about these super fast Teslas yet. We will get to it, maybe when I get home. You admiring my dirt? It's good, isn't it?
Cheers, buddy.
Take
See you
care.
then, mate.
Cheers,
Have a
Mark.
good one.
See you
Take
next
care.
time
Alright.
on
Take
your
care.
electric bike then.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to go for a swap, upgrade, I don't know. GTX to
Downgrade.
something else. Anyway. Jasper's now at the skate park having fun, and I've been roped into looking after him while my wife goes for a run. That's all good. It also affords me the opportunity to talk about this new Model S Plaid version, which is currently sort of on the Nürburgring, you know, stretching its legs. Effectively, what this thing is the Tesla response to the Porsche Taycan. Now, the Taycan's done a 740 odd lap around the Nürburgring. That is very impressive. I believe that is the fastest four-door sports sedan, you know, ever to go around the Nürburgring. So, you know, really fantastic. The Tesla Model S Plaid version is supposed to be able to do it in about 7 minutes 20 seconds, which is a substantial improvement. How have they managed that? Well, it's clearly got much, much fatter, wider tyres than normal Teslas, and that's going to help going around corners, no question about that. Also grip on acceleration, because this thing has got 3 electric motors, 2 on the rear axle, 1 on the front, like I mentioned before. And it must just go like absolute stink. Oh, clearly, if it's going to do 720 around the Nürburgring, we're rather less sure as to whether it will suffer from this overheating, reduced power thing that Teslas tend to have if you drive them really hard for any length of time. Certainly the Porsche Taycan doesn't appear to have that problem, but then it does have an 800 volt architecture, so cooling will be less of an issue because of that voltage increase over the 400 volts which Tesla and almost all other electric vehicles use. The only other real bit of news to add, I think, is that it's expected that the Model S Plaid version and also a Model X version as well are likely to be released around the 4th quarter of 2020, and that's basically all we know. Oh, other than I think they're going to bring back the 7 seats, you know, the rear 2 seats, the jump seats. For some reason they're coming back. I can only assume that's because Elon Musk wants to fit his 5 kids into the car again, which is the reason why they existed in the first place. Although, you know, people bought them, so, you know, maybe it's more of a plus than I think. Only having 1 child, it's not that much of a plus for me. I would rather have the extra space so I can fit all my various toys into the back, along with Jasper's scooter, bicycle, skateboard. As you can see, some of that's over there. Just trying to think if there's anything else I need to add, and there isn't really, except to say that Teslas have had a great reputation for straight line speed, especially on that sort of 0 to 60, 0 to 100 end of things. That's where the power really shows through, and they're just virtually unbeatable without spending insane money on a 2-seat hypercar. However, the whole point, I think, of this Plaid version is that it is supposed to be more of a proper racing feel car, track car, something that can go round and do it at a really sensible speed. So I am hoping that it doesn't overheat, and hopefully we will find the answer to that over the sort of coming months and years. But, you know, hopefully 4th quarter of 2020. Right, I'm going to finish my cup of coffee now and devote the rest of my attention to making sure Jasper's all right on the skate park. Hope you've enjoyed today's vlog post. If you have, remember to like it, share it, subscribe if you haven't already, follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you don't already, and I'll see you in the next episode of my vlog. Bye! You know, they don't feel that squidgy.
They don't,
But
no.
they're big and they're reasonably comfortable.
How many miles have you done?
We're just around Ferry Meadows, which is very much this kind of rough.
Because they reckon 60 miles, don't they, before they get to their sponginess.
Oh really? Before
Yeah.
they get to full sponge?
Yeah,
Oh well,
very
I'm miles
low,
off
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Sponge.